Hi folks, Christy here. I just thought I'd stop by today, do a little live here, say hello. Hope everybody's doing fine. So we're going to talk about our cold cases today and how they sit with us, okay? Because I want to talk to you about how they affect all of us and what we can do together. Because cold cases don't just sit on a shelf somewhere. I mean, they do, but they sit with us. Because we feel it, like at a store or at church, and especially like if we're walking to our cars at night, and the families especially carry the heaviest weight. But the whole town feels it until there's some kind of answers. To move forward on this, I have an idea. This is just my opinions. I think we need three things. I think we need healing, information, and inclusion. Let's talk about the healing first. Healing isn't fluffy. Hold on again. I want to make sure that I'm live here. Bear with me. Yes, I am. Okay. We're just going to talk about healing first. And healing isn't fluffy. It's not the fluffy stuff. Families out there, they need real support. Counseling that lasts, not huge turnovers. They need grief groups that don't disappear. They just stick around and do what they're supposed to do. They need places to talk without being torn apart, somewhere safe. Because when pain has no outlet, it turns into isolation and distrust. What do you folks think? I think healing is a great way and a great place to start. Hey, if you folks know of a good counselor, a good local counselor or a support group or a church program, drop it in the comments and I'll gather a list. Now let's talk about information. Because information beats out the rumors. Because I can't name unvetted people. We need to have solid info. And when officials go quiet, Facebook becomes the detective. And sometimes the keyboard warriors hurt people in the cases and do exact opposite of what we're trying to do. But we're not asking for their secrets. I don't, they just want updates. The families want updates. They want regular plain English updates. What was checked, what didn't pan out, what's happening next, and what help is needed. And I think even if they tell us that there's no movement, it's better than silence. What we're going through right now with a case with Amy Jo Nelson, this family just wants to talk to the officials. They just want to update. Again, just talk to them. Take time out of the busy schedule and talk to a grieving family. And you just tell them face to face, we have nothing. But just treating them like they should be treated, like victims that they are. Crime victims. My opinion. I think that quarterly updates in our counties, that's not too much to ask for. And if they don't want to update the whole community, again, just the families, that's not too much to ask for. Let's talk about the third thing, the last thing. That is inclusion. Inclusions means put us in the loop. Name a point person for each case is what I'm thinking. And especially, a family. I think a published review would be good. Again, these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think, folks. This is your group. This is for you and the families out there. We have a great group. We have over 2,000 members. You know, we can do stuff. Look what's happening with the case down in Morgan County, Crystal. That's so exciting. They brought in heavy equipment, backhoes. So many law enforcement cars were there. I mean, they even put a porta potty up, folks. They were ready for business. And I think they spent 3 days there. We don't know what's happening or what's going on, but we do know that there was, you know, big movement going on that property. That's so exciting. And, you know, are the families going to get updated, you know? I mean, they're going to let them know what happened, and I hope so. I really hope so. I hope they update the family. Alright, let me see here. What else can we talk about? I think they should explain to the public how anonymous tips work and what happens after you send one. You know, I mean, what happens to that? I've sent several to the prosecutor and Sheriff Lutz, and, you know, I don't expect any feedback, reply, or anything like that, but I'm left wondering, you know, like, okay, well, what's happening to that? Is it getting checked out? Is it something that is a no-go? You just don't know. But again, I'm not asking for private, but anything that will hurt the case. Absolutely not. I'm just asking for the families to be updated once, maybe twice a year, out of the busy schedule. I mean, I think that, again, they're crime victims. And this isn't just any crime. Come on. What are we talking about here? This is the most ungodly pain a person and a parent and a loved one can go through. I think a little bit of update in time isn't asking for much. Again, my opinion. My opinion. I think ego kills cases, but teamwork can help solve them. No, I'm not talking about just our teamwork. Oh, we're talking about the law enforcement's teamwork too. Because I don't control the case file, not like them. So let's talk about what we can do right now. Right now, we can share what we actually know. Again, let's don't be keyboard warriors that share false information, to keep spreading those rumors. I don't like doing that. I like to vet. I want people to know that death, lies, and alibis, you know, you can pretty much bank on what we say. I really try to research and get to the source and not post anything. I'm not perfect. It does slide through at times. I apologize. But I do try to make sure, you know, and when I do post rumors, usually it's one that has been told by sources that I have vetted, people that I know their information is true. I can pretty much trust them. And if it is a rumor, I say it's allegedly. This is not fact. Everybody has always been, said, unless they're innocent, unless proven guilty. But the rumors can really hurt a case. And I think that's what the officials are more afraid of than anything, is this mucking up the case. But we do. If you guys can help out by, if you have a date, a vehicle, a location, a screenshot, send it. Send it to the authorities. Send it to law enforcement. And of course, we love to support the families. Okay, we think they should support the families instead of turning it into some kind of spectacle. You know, I had a conversation with Prosecutor Welch when I first started about 3 years ago. Very nice, very cordial. It was a very informative conversation. And he, at one point, he told me, we was talking about the DNA and retesting, and, come on, it's 2025, and we're watching cases all around us being solved. Where's Muskingum County at? And a lot, he defended himself in the department, but he also came and right out and admitted budget money. They are allotted so much, like we are in our household. They can only spend so much. They have to watch that. I understand that. And he told me that, like for instance, in a rape kit, they are allowed to only send 3 items to be tested by BCI. 3 items only. In a rape kit, I mean, when you think of all the information you want to send, make sure you get the perpetrator. But you're only allowed, which items do you send? Well, of course, you were thinking the underwear, but this lets you know that it's not just, hey, we've got cold cases, we need to solve them, here you go. It's not that easy. We know that. But what's going on? I am seeing, you are too, seeing counties around us here in Ohio that they're getting solved. I don't see Muskingum County anything. Because the emergencies. I'm sorry, I live by the hospital. Bear with me. So, what do you think? I think cold cases test who we are. And I don't think fear and silence should be a rule here in Muskingum County. Just my opinion. What do you think? What do you think? We want answers. We want certain things. And you know what? I want to take and say that Sheriff Lutz and Prosecutor Welch, they both have said that, well, actually, Prosecutor Welch, we tried to meet with him 2 years ago with families, and it didn't fall through. There was myself and Kathy Huber, Barb Frame's daughter, showed up. That's it. But we wasn't 2,200 members strong back then either. I think we were barely maybe 100, 200. So we've grown. So I don't know, if people would want to meet. But I'm talking about Morton County. I'm talking about Perry County, because literally I've seen, the families ask for updates and answers and information and get shot down or just ignored. Not acceptable, especially in cases that are so blatantly mishandled. When a wrong is, don't we teach our children when a wrong is wrong, we're to right it? I mean, it makes us more of a good human being. Shouldn't that be especially important and especially shown by law enforcement, those in authority, that if something was wrong or something was handled wrong or something, that just, then you try to make it right. I don't know. Again, just my opinion. I'm not a professional, just a podcaster. Because I think if we push for healing and real information, I don't know, and a seat at the table, I don't know, maybe what can happen? What can happen? I'm going to close this. I didn't want to stay on too long. Just stop in, say hello and howdy. I'm going to close by thanking y'all for your support, for joining Death Lies and Alibis, supporting the family and the victims out there. Y'all are wonderful. And yeah, so I will talk to you soon. Remember, be safe, stay alert, and never stop seeking justice.